Have you noticed how we are increasingly connected, but at the same time, we feel more alone than ever? We live in an era where we can talk to anyone on the other side of the world instantly. We have social networks that allow us to follow the lives of friends, react to posts, share thoughts. But in the midst of all this, an uncomfortable question arises. Are we really connected or just living an illusion of proximity? The numbers are shocking. Research indicates that despite the growth of social networks, the rates of depression and loneliness have never been so high. A study by the University of Pennsylvania showed that reducing time spent on social networks significantly diminishes the feeling of isolation. That is, the more time online, the more we feel. Does this make sense to you? Think well. In the past, the only way to communicate was personally or by phone. Today, we solve everything with emojis and likes. But are these superficial interactions able to replace a hug, a sincere look, or a deep conversation? And is that exactly what we will discuss today? Are social networks really approaching us, or are we the most lonely generation in history? It is until the end, because we will bring facts, data, and questions that can change the way you see the digital world. And in the end, I want to know, what is your opinion? Social networks have completely transformed the way we interact. Today, we can send an instant message to someone who is on the other side of the world, follow the life of acquaintances without having to ask directly, and even meet new people without leaving home. It looks like an amazing breakthrough, right? But this change has a positive side and a worrying side. The positive side: it has never been so easy to keep in touch with friends, family, and co-workers. Networks like WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook allow constant interactions, eliminating geographic barriers. If someone moves to another country, for example, just a video call to miss the longing. The worrying side: this hyperconnectivity has changed our perception of what a true relationship is. Before, friendships required physical presence, meetings, and conversations face-to-face. Today, a simple enjoy in a photo is already seen as a valid interaction. But is it really? Are we not exchanging deep connections for surface interactions? Impactful dice. A study published in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology revealed that users who spend more than 2 hours a day on social networks are twice likely to report feelings of solitude and dissatisfaction. That is, the more time we spend in them, the greater the chance to feel disconnected from the real world. Think about it. Social networks approach physically because they allow instant contact. But do they approach emotionally? Or are we increasingly attached to a digital universe that distances us from real human relations? Now that we understand how networks have changed our connections, do we need to go further? Do they really approach or create an invisible gulf between us? Arguments in favor. Even with criticism, you can't deny it. Social networks have revolutionized the way we connected and brought numerous advantages. If used in the right way, they can bring people closer to previously unimaginable ways. Let's look at the main positive points. Before, maintaining contact with friends and distant family was a challenge. Today, just click to send a message, make a video call, or share. Everyday moments. Thanks to social networks, no one needs to lose contact because of the distance. During the pandemic, many people were isolated, unable to see friends and family. If it wasn't for social networks, millions of people would have passed this period without any social contact. For those who have difficulty interacting in person, whether by shyness, social anxiety, or any other reason, social networks offer a safe space to express themselves and meet new people. Interesting data. A study by the American Psychological Association showed that 60% of young people who have social difficulties report feeling more comfortable interacting online than personally. That is, for many, social networks are not a problem, but a solution to loneliness. Today we get work, we do networking, and even find the love of our lives through social networks. LinkedIn connects professionals to opportunities. Instagram and TikTok allow entrepreneurs to reach customers, and dating apps made it much easier to find someone compatible. Couples who met by Tinder, friendships formed in Facebook groups, businesses that were born from a simple viral post. Social networks created opportunities that just didn't exist before. Support groups, forums, and online communities help millions of people feel less alone. People who suffer from depression, anxiety, or health problems find in online groups a space to share experiences and receive support. Relevant data. According to a study by Harvard Medical School, people who participate in online support communities report higher levels of emotional welfare than those who deal with their problems with their own. So social networks bring people closer. If we look at this side, the answer seems to be yes. They allow global connections, help the most shy to interact, create opportunities, and offer emotional support. But is this enough to replace real-world relationships? Now that we look at the positive points, let's explore the other side of the coin. Can social networks be a way more than we imagine? Arguments against. Despite all the advantages, there is a growing problem. Social networks can make us feel more isolated, anxious, and emotionally disconnected. Why? Let's look at the main reasons. Interacting on social networks is not the same as building real relationships. Likes, comments, and emojis replace deep conversations and face-to-face moments. We have thousands of friends online, but how many really are there when we need? Impactful data. A study from the University of Chicago showed that people who spend more time on social networks report to feel less real emotional support from friends and family. This is because digital interactions are superficial and do not replace human contact. Have you spent hours on Instagram watching stories and in the end realized that you didn't talk to anyone? This is the illusion of digital proximity. Instagram and TikTok bombard us with perfect lives. Everyone seems happy, traveling in amazing relationships. But the truth is that no one puts their difficult times. Alarming research. A study by the Royal Society for Public Health revealed that Instagram is the most harmful social network for young people's mental health, increasing feelings of anxiety, depression, and inadequacy. How many times have you compared your life with someone you saw online? This feeling of not being enough is a direct side effect of social networks. Before, friends gathered to talk, go out and create memories together. Today, many prefer to stay on mobile, watching videos or rolling the feed without really interacting. Concerning. According to a report by Common Sense Media, adolescents spend an average of 7 hours a day on social networks. This time could be invested in real meetings, hobbies, or learning. Have you noticed how hard it is to make a date with friends? We often prefer to exchange messages instead of going out to see people in person. Social networks are designed to addict. The algorithm keeps us rolling the feed indefinitely, while notifications make us turn all the time. This creates an addictive cycle that reduces our interaction with the real world. Shocking fact. The World Health Organization already recognizes excessive use of social networks as a risk factor for mental disorders. Have you tried to be one day without social networks and felt a strange anxiety? This is the effect of digital dependence. Are we more connected or more isolated? The data show that despite all connectivity, social networks may be moving us away from real connections. The illusion of proximity, constant comparison, reducing face-to-face meetings and digital addiction are turning us into the most lonely generation in history. Now we get to the point of turning point. How can we balance the use of social networks to enjoy its benefits without falling into these traps? So we come to the big question: are social networks a bridge for real connections or a trap that imprisons us in solitude? The truth is that they are just a tool. It all depends on how we use it. If we spend hours rolling the feed, comparing our lives with those of others, and avoiding real interactions, Social networks isolate us and destroy our mental health. But if we use them to keep in touch with dear people, strengthen friendships, and create real opportunities, they can be incredibly beneficial. Challenge for you. How about testing? Spend a day without social networks and see how you feel. Take the opportunity to go out, talk to someone personally, or simply watch the world around you without a screen in the middle. And now, do we want to know? Do you feel more connected or more isolated because of social networks? Leave your opinion in the comments and share your experience. Let's debate. And of course, if this theme made you think, don't forget to enjoy, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until the next video.